Hi, this is Joey Picard with Duxbury Youth Lacrosse, and this is the West Genny drill. The West Genny drill may be the most famous drill of lacrosse. It's named after the West Genesee School in New York. It is, in a nutshell, full field, 3-on-2, constant action, back and forth. Unbelievable for IQ, unbelievable for running and endurance, unbelievable for shape, uneven situations, fast breaks. This drill has it all. One of my all-time favorite youth drills. I will begin West Genny with third graders, and we'll do it once a week during the season. When I say full field, what I'm really meaning is that you're going to use both cages. I typically will, however, shorten the field a little bit, maybe bring them up 10 yards apiece, run at about 80%, but you certainly can run full field. They're going to get a lot more leg reps doing that, but not a problem at all to shorten the field a little bit. The way it's set up is you're going to have 3 cones on each goal line extended, or maybe slightly behind the goal line extended. That's your call. And you're going to divide your team into 2. And you're going to have one group on one side of the field defending that net and attacking the other, and another group on the opposite side defending that net and attacking the other. This is a great drill for goalies. The goalies are going to feed and start the action, so I highly recommend it. If you don't have 2 readily available goalies, you can have a coach. I'd have the coach stand outside of the crease with a small stockpile of balls, and they can be the ones to feed, but a great drill if you do have the goalies. To start this drill off, one of these teams is going to start on defense, and you're going to send 2 players out there, and they're going to get an I formation. The other team is going to start off on offense. The goalie is going to feed one. The outside players, which are the ones on the outside cones, they're going to sprint down and get to an area that we call the islands. This is an area north of the goal line extended and slightly to the side, a really great area for them to stop and being able to catch it and shoot with very little movement. They should have their sticks upfield in the outside position. The ball gets to the middle for the 3-on-2. You'll notice in my demonstration, this is something I like to do at my practices. We get the goalie to actually feed one of the outside players because that's really what happens in a game-like scenario anyways. The goalie is going to make a save and going to find a wing defender who bananas out to the sideline. That player then quickly gets it over to my middle player and gets down to the island. So this is what that looks like. Quick passing outlet, get to the middle. Our 2 players are down. They're facing uphill, upfield, stick in the opposite outside hand. And now what we have is a 3-on-2 situation. So one thing we really want to emphasize in West Genny is that this really ought to be a quick strike. They really ought to have a fast break mentality of coming down 1 or 2 passes maximum before someone shoots it. We don't want them to stop and settle it. In a real fast break scenario, they don't have a lot of time before this gets even again, and settling the ball is just not realistic here. We really want them to push it and go fast with this. So we're going to show this as played out, and they're going to do what we normally do in a 3-on-2 situation, which is pass the ball, find the open man, put a good shot on net. So there are a couple of rules here in order to keep this moving smoothly and efficiently, and here's what they are. The first thing that happens is the defense. Once the 2 players play defense, they come out. They go back to their own line. They go back to their own cone and get ready to come in down the road. What happens with the offensive players is twofold. Number one, the player who last touched the ball. So most of the time, that's going to be the shooter, someone who shoots it, either makes a goal or has it saved, or perhaps shoots it out of bounds. That person is going to also leave the drill. They're going to go back to their own line. They're going to do that off the field, however. It's also possible that a pass is sails over someone's head, someone throws it out of bounds, or if the action comes to a stop, if it gets on the ground and we have a ground ball scrum, coach blows the whistle, wants a new rep. Whoever touches the ball last is going to be responsible for getting off the field and going back to the end of their line. But at the same time, the remaining 2 players have to sprint back and they have to get into that I formation like we had at the beginning of the drill. So 1 player who touched the ball last is off. The other 2 sprint back into their position. And now we have a new group. Goalie's going to feed the other team just like we did. And with the first team, you're going to get it over to the middle, 2 players down to the island, and now we have the exact same scenario that we did before. We have a 3-on-2 coming the other way. They're going to play that one out. This is where my animation stops, but they're going to play it out. Last person to touch it comes off the field. Other 2 players come back to defense. The white team defense is off, and 3 new white offensive players are coming into the drill. And this is going to happen over and over and over again for a solid. Sometimes we run this for 10 minutes and have an absolute blast with this. That's the famous West Genny drill. If you have any questions, any feedback, if you have any interesting variations of that drill that you'd like to share, or just want to check in, I'd love to connect with you. Want to wish you a lot of luck with your lacrosse season, and thank you for watching.